Still going with the Magic Nightblade. Change a couple things around for this patch, and it's working out pretty amazing. It's pretty good in duels, but it's really badass for like open world 1vxing. I mean, it works good in duels. It's just there's a really high skill cap, especially with this bar setup. So we're running basically the same gear. So we're doing 5 Lich, and that's on your back bar with a infused resto staff, and I have the magic damage and restores magicka enchant on there. 1 Keena's shoulder, and then on your front bar, you'll have 5 Bloodthorn, all spell damage enchants on the jewelry. And then now we're running on our main attack bar, because we're doing a double attack bar. We have 1 Sharpened and 1 Nirnhone Sword of Torag's Pact. So when we do this, this brings us up to 3,800 spell damage on our back bar, or our main attack bar, sorry. Get rid of these things real quick. Okay. 3,500 and then 2,358 on the back bar, which is plenty. We still have 7k spell pen, which is pretty good, especially in this patch. Our recovery is 1346. Food just ran out. Let me eat a food real quick. So 39k max magicka, 22k health. The recovery is whatever because we're running the Bloodthorn. Like this is even more recovery than my last build. So we have the Bloodthorn on the front bar, which is always giving us magic and stamina back. Then we have Lich on the back bar, which increases our stuff by quite a bit. And on our front bar, our main attack bar, we're running Siphoning Attacks, which heals and gives us magicka back every 20 seconds. And then it restores a huge burst at the end. Surprise attack or concealed weapon for up close. That's concealed weapon is level 1 for me. I just started kind of doing dual wield. I don't usually do this, but it works out really well, and it's 10k unbuffed. I think I can get it up to like 15k, which is pretty high. So then we're gonna go with Impale. It's kind of an overkill. Like you do so much damage that you don't necessarily need it, but I throw it on there for the tankier targets. This is kind of a flex spot here. If you wanted to put something else. Mass Hysteria for when they get too close, and then Merciless Resolve, which unbuffed is a 20k. I think it goes up to like 27. Hits super, super hard. And then we're using Soul Harvest on the front bar, because once they get close, we hit them with this and start hitting them here. And we're doing like 9k concealed weapons, so it's a lot of damage. Now on our Resto Staff, we have Piercing Mark. That way nobody can go invisible on us, and they take more damage. Swallow Soul. Even on this bar, 4889, 8489 unbuffed, so you're doing quite a bit of damage here. We're just running Healing Ward. I actually have always run Healing Ward and Harness Magicka, but to tell you the truth, Healing Ward works amazing by itself. You don't really need the other ones, especially while you're doing Swallow Soul, and since we're getting healing from our Siphoning Attacks and Swallow Soul, it actually you get quite a bit of healing on this bar. Crippling Grasp, Structured Entropy. Right now I have Soul Tether because my Restoration Staff is only 45. Eventually I would use the Resto Ultimate because it's completely broken. This is for if there's a bunch of people, and then this is what I'm trying to finish off a target. The way that I play this is I will buff up, get my 2 buffs going, and I'll stay on this bar for a little bit. You know, I'll use the the Merciless or the Piercing Mark to you know, make sure they can't go into stealth. I will Structure Entropy into the Crippling Grasp, which hits really hard, and then I'm going to Light Attack, Swallow Soul. Now when we Light Attack, we're also getting back magic too, so that we have like 8 different ways of getting back magic. So the sustain is insane. So we're gonna get magic back that way. So we're gonna be Light Attacking and Swallow Soul Weaving. Once we get to, we're going to count our light attacks. Once we hit 5 and we know we hit 5, we'll go ahead and swap bars. And depending if they're close, we'll hit them with the Mass Hysteria into it, or we'll Structured Entropy and do it from far away. Now you can do that up close, but usually I just like to get them off of me and then smack them. This hits without going into here. I've hit just a flat 13k um, because of how high our spell damage is. And then when you throw this in there, this usually hits for almost 10. So I mean, if you mass hysteria soul harvest into this, they're basically dead, and you don't need this. But just in case their shields save them, this is how you're gonna finish them. Like I said, this is your flex spot. Um, in our champion points, they haven't changed too much. We have a little bit more. I threw 10 into here to get 1,000 extra spell pen. 75, 12. You could put more in here if you wanted. Like if you didn't care about pen and wanted this, you could. But I want a little bit more spell pen. I seem to get a lot more damage that way. I have 51 into shattering blows. That way I can just dominate shields. This is huge for me. Like this is a must for me. Some people don't need it. If you throw it in here, your crits are gonna hit crazy hard. But I go here. 72 into Master at Arms. That's 23%. That's gonna give you some increased damage there. Nothing in this tree. It's not needed. 72 into Ironclad because direct damage is the most powerful shit in the game. I put 11 into here just to help out, you know, getting the 10% there, and then 19 for my shields. Break free. I took the extra 10 and put it into here just to drop people's regen a little bit. 64 into Arcanist, 44 into Tenacity because we are heavy attacking and light attacking. Um, and then into dodge roll because I do dodge roll quite a bit of attacks. Honestly, this is my favorite setup that I have right now. Um, it it's extremely bursty and relatively hard to kill because on each bar you have a stun or you have something to keep them away from you. Um, and then you could kind of do what you want. Siphoning attacks isn't 100% necessary. You could actually put like Lotus Fan or something like that on there if you wanted to jump in and start hitting them. But so many people like to play close, like I don't see a reason for it. And if someone is like hiding behind shields or mines, I'll just come up close and knock them back and, you know, throw a bow at them and we'll cut that shit out. So, um, hopefully you guys like this setup. This is by far my favorite way to play this now. Um, it is so good. It's so hard to kill and you never run out. You just put so much pressure 24/7 that it's so good in open world. Um, what else? Oh, the food I'm using the Max Magica, Max Health. I don't use the Witch Mother's Potent Brew because I want to keep my health up and then I don't need any more recovery. Like I have plenty. If I needed more recovery, I would switch some of this to Divines because of the change in the Mundus Stones. Um, Speaking of Mundus Stones, I'm using the Apprentice because I'm going for that high because we've already got the 40k Max Magica. I believe that's plenty when it comes to this. Um, so that's really all you need. You don't need 50k. 40 is plenty. And then when I get up to like, 3,900 spell damage, it balances itself out. And for me, it works the best. But I mean, you can kind of go along and change it. Divines is way more important than it was before because of the changes, but I still have all 5 in pen and then 1 divines and then an infuse just for the getting my max magic up. So hopefully this is good. Tell me if it's working for you guys. I stream every day that I'm not at work. So if you get a chance and you see me streaming, come hit me up and tell me how you think the build is going. All right, see you later.